How's everybody doing?
Doing great, HJ. Thank you.
Ah, Gary, hello. It's long time no see.
Yes, that new time was a little bit, I mean, the old time was a little bit late for me, 2 hours
Okay.
later than this. So I was usually tired by then. But no,
Yeah,
I like this time better.
Kid Blake had the same problem. So I'm happy that you have too. And for me, it's also more convenient. So, well, Kit, could you propose the items to talk about?
Yeah, well, we have a big grand list of one at this point, which is an update on the member site construction.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do that.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
I have also some news. Peter Harris of from this music stuff.
Resonate, yeah.
Yeah, Resonate. So he's interested in our bounty system.
Haha.
And I think we are going to work together. And that means that all the people who are interested in Resonate, they are also becoming a member of Rchain. And like that, they can participate in the same way in the bounty system as we do. So that's, I think that's very nice. And we can accommodate it.
Yeah. And will we, at least in the beginning, kind of work together in the same system?
Yeah.
Okay.
System is okay. So, and it's very nice at the moment. Once everybody has this personal spreadsheet and a temp spreadsheet in that, then you only have to wait tenths of eighths of months, I would say. Then we freeze the system and we go to the next month. And then the items will appear automatically in your spreadsheet and the total amount as well. And then you can download it as PDF. And then you go to a form that's new. We get rid of the email system. And then your invoice will be processed. So.
Yeah, that's working really well, by the way. I was really pleased with that. Once I got the template set up, then it just automatically updated, and when I was ready to send, everything was there. And I definitely like the form much better than sending emails around.
Yeah, but okay. This was at the end of the process. Somebody wanted that it was sent by email, and it gave me an awful lot of work because emails get lost and so, and you have to copy, you have to do a lot of manual things on the computer. And now that's finished, so that's really wonderful. So April will be the first month that we will completely, that you can send in an invoice without any problem. You only have to fill out this form. Oh, Nikitas is also there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead, Kit.
going back to Resonate, the bounty system is what? Is keyed to our issue numbers, yeah?
Yeah.
So if Resonate people are going to collaborate, will they post issues in the Rchain bounties tracker? Okay.
Yeah. Because I think the bounty system is for a lot of general things, and they do something with Rchain, so it's a nice fit.
Yeah.
And I would say it's much nicer if you go to any kind of project and then create issues about it and get budgets for it.
Ah. Okay, good.
So, for example, I want to make a sauna on the beach, and the sauna has to be managed by a group of people, and it has to be a really sophisticated thing. For example, opening the door, then you need to have a key on the blockchain, etc. Yeah. So this will cost a lot of money, and it will be proposed when it's more clear in my head, I will make it an issue in the bounty system.
All right.
And I've been talking to another girl, to a girl, and she wants to create a product for curly hair, for washing and so. And maybe it's a very good idea to create a community around these kind of things. And also, this could go also on Rchain. Yeah. So it's more a kind of incubating issues, and that could serve very well with reflective ventures and Pitya. So when the project gets some body and the ideas are very clear, then they can go to a more professional setup, like reflective fences or from Pitya. And I've been talking to Greg Hoyce, and he was very enthusiastic about this kind of things.
Okay.
So then we get a bit rid of only translating and going towards projects. And it could also interest Ojimado, for example. This is Africa conference and things like that. So.
Sorry, I would like to ask something. What do you think about Russian community at all?
Oh, that's awesome. If you could set it up, that would be great in Russia, because Russia is an enormous country and there's a lot of potential and good programmers and good math people. So if you are able to board on developers, then it's awesome, great.
So I can bring the developers, I can manage the Telegram if it's okay, and bring new people and to community to work together.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, tell a bit more about it, Gary.
Well, I was just seconding the motion that Nikita, do you pronounce it Nikita?
Yeah, Nikita, whatever you like.
Okay. Yeah, it's very exciting that you've decided that you want to do that, because I think it would be great to help expand the project and what we're trying to do.
Okay, so I will open some issue without the budget or without anything, and we'll start work at it. So we can see in these days maybe some changes or new people will come. So I will start to do this.
Okay, and you are already a member of Rchain?
Yes, I am the member Kelendium, if you know my name.
Ah, oh, that's you. Okay, wonderful.
Say the name again. I didn't hear it.
Kelendium. My name at GitHub Kelendium, and on Discord is Kelendium. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's you can if you create an issue, make it as smart as possible and also manageable. So don't make large issues like I'm going to find.
Yes,
I'm going
yes.
to. Yeah.
Understand
Okay.
you. Yeah, or I will put it without a budget, and don't worry. I want just our community to be better and to be more effective on Russian markets.
Okay. Wonderful. Kit, I think I can. You can go ahead with the member site.
Okay, hang on a second while I share the screen. Okay, a while back, a couple of weeks, Ian and Jeremy from Pyrofix set up a WordPress instance, and last weekend on Saturday, some people got together and started working on it. And this is what it looks like. It's not exactly lovely. It just has a default WordPress theme in it, but it's perfectly fine for creating content. And the content that we're working on is in this document, which is posted in the issue, but I'll also put it in the chat here. And so this sitemap hierarchy, what I've done is some things are in gray, meaning they're not ready yet, and we don't expect them to be ready soon. So whatever is in black is part of the MVP, the minimal viable product that we want to get online and launch. And then other things like voting and petitioning, those will come later as they get formed. So right now, there's a very simple structure, which you can see here. There are 5 top-level items. There's about, calendar, get involved, membership, and support. And behind the scenes, this is the WordPress interface. So people who are working here, for instance, here I'm working on the widgets, and you can see a list of widgets here, which are the ones showing up in this channel, or in this sidebar on the right. So that all works quite smoothly. And what we really need to do is start getting real content in. And so if we go edit about, for instance, then this is the user interface. It's a visual editor with WYSIWYG, so you can cut and paste content from other sources like Google Docs or whatever. And this is what it looks like rendered in the real site. So I'm working on getting some of this content organized and put in. And what we need is somebody who has WordPress knowledge and could help get us a nice looking site put together, because We do have an Rchain background behind here, but the site could have a little more Rchain look and feel as opposed to this peachy color or something. But I'm not worrying about that. I'm just worrying about the content. And coincidentally, my office has become a co-working space, and there's a guy sitting at the next desk who has WordPress knowledge. So I'm going to be trying to talk him into working for Rchain. And if that works, then we might be able to get somebody in who really knows what's going on in terms of WordPress and which plugins are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones, and how the themes work, so we can get some more Rchain look and feel into the site. And if that happens, then I'll be reporting on it, and you should also see someone else joining the cooperative and starting to participate in the bounty system.
Okay, that looks great. What's the reason to create this member site?
To improve the onboarding. And it's actually this document, if I go to the top, was created after the governance forum. And you can see people here like Tim, the German guy, who's quite active and articulate. He and other people like Kathy, they worked on this, and they kind of got a working group started. And then other people like Barry came in and added some more content that could be included. And it was a good setup, but it wasn't actually a structure. So then some other people like Amika and myself, we tried to make an outline out of it. And then that hierarchy evolved over time until it became this one. But to go back to your question, it's really to improve the onboarding process, because people come into the Rchain world and they all ask the same questions. It's like we need an FAQ or something, but there's actually a lot of information that we want to have. Like we want to have a calendar. That's one of the just essential things, so that when people are considering joining the co-op, they can find answers to most of their questions here without having to ask in Telegram or Discord or something. And this will also overlap into another working group, which is the greeters. So you can, via this site, somehow directly make contact with a greeter. That isn't totally clear yet. I just set this page up on Monday, but that's also meant to be part of the process. So you find a mentor type person who can help you get organized in terms of whether you're a developer or a biz dev type or a translator or whatever. They can point you in the right direction. And what's still kind of unknown, actually, let me go back to the top. We did a poll about what people might like to do when they came to this site, and the result of the poll, it was in Lumio, was very interesting. And at the top of the list was, what are the benefits of joining? So that's what we have in the homepage right now. We have a list of why you might want to join the Rchain Cooperative. And well, it needs styling, but this needs to be a call to action button. And when you click it, then it goes to the registration app, which right now is what you see if you go to member.rchain.coop. You get a login screen there, and somehow that app, which I believe is going to be an external app that isn't decided yet, but we have an issue about it, that'll be hooked in here. So almost like with an e-commerce site, if you look around and say, yes, I want to join, then you click join, and then the same as with an e-commerce site, you actually leave the site, you go into the payment app and you deal with the payment provider. And then when you're done, the app sends you back to the original site and you have a confirmation message, or in our case, it'll be a welcome message. So that's the tour of where we are. And yeah, the one thing I have to point out is that working group has sort of evaporated. So if there are people who would like to contribute and create content, they'd be most welcome.
I would like to know what kind of content needs to be created. Like, what sort of content are we looking at?
Yeah, the most content that needs to be put together is probably in About, where if this is the About page, we'll have some sort of welcome message here, but then we need to describe what is the co-op structure so that people know, well, there's a board and there's officers and how the co-op works. And also the structure of the related entities, like the funding companies and Pyrofex doing development, and how the governance works. So there's a board, there's committees, there's working groups, and it doesn't actually have to be a lot of content. Most of it, you can see here, it just links to existing stuff. So the board will have links to meeting minutes, and someone here is quoting an issue number, but it's basically just a simple page with an explanation. These are the board meetings, and here you can find the minutes of the meetings. And the same thing with the committees. Then we have these 3 committees working, and here are their meeting logs. So you have links to their meeting logs, and the working groups are kind of still somewhat nebulous, but we can explain what we have. There's a principles and values working group. There's a greeters working group. And here, the founding documents, it's again just GitHub links. And we always get questions about what is the rock distribution, so we should have some information about that. And this is the content for the minimal viable product. And once we get the site launched, then there's more stuff that can be filled in, of course. So we can have an FAQ, we can have information about the details of the deals or principles and values. But the first thing is just looking at these pages and filling in a bit. Some of it, I made a post about it, but we need some sort of calendar, and there isn't, as far as I know, an Rchain calendar. There's a few calendars that have bits and pieces, but there's no master calendar or something. So that needs to be set up, and that probably should be Patrick. So I pinged him on that. And here in Get Involved, it's basically, well, how to contribute. We have a bounty system. We have a contributing.txt that has the big explanation. So there's no sense in duplicating that here. We just send people to look at contributing.txt. And we also have a nice new video that we can hopefully embed in this page so that you can watch it. And we also need to explain about the developer and coding resources with Jira and the forum.rchain resources, so that if it's developers as opposed to bounty biz dev people, then so the developers know where to go as well. And this content I mean, Ojimadu, I'm sure we can get you access, but it can also be just created here in a Google Doc. And fortunately, with that WYSIWYG editor, let me scroll up to some normal text. Fortunately, with that WYSIWYG editor, we can just copy this stuff and paste it in the editor, and headings and everything else will come through. So those are the things that need to happen if anybody wants to jump in. And I created a budget for it. Hang on. And my GitHub is in dark night mode, so you have to get used to that. But this is a new budget, number 595, under construction. And oops. Hang on a minute. And I put in an interim budget of $5,000, which is like 125 collective hours for this month, just to work on the content and getting the site configured. And if we get a designer developer involved, then this will have to go up. But for the time being, I was just looking at people we know. So that's the project that's running to get this up to minimal viable product state. And simultaneously, we'll need to figure out what we want to do with the KYC app. So, I mean, we could just leave it the way it is, and yeah, you link to, let me show it on the screen, member.rchain.coop. So we just link to this for the time being, and then if people want to register, they come in here. And we all know this needs to be improved, but it's a complicated thing that overlaps with a lot of other Rchain departments. So it's tech, and it's business because you have to pay, and it's privacy and all this stuff. So it's a tricky little app that we need to deal with, and there is an issue about it. I don't remember the number, but you'll see it there in terms of how we want to deal with this app. And some people, myself included, think it's something that we should outsource, because there's already tons of stuff out there that does exactly what we want. And as opposed to trying to roll our own, we should just use something existing, and then we can relax and know that it'll scale.
I'm sorry, Kit, which part of it were you thinking should be outsourced, or which part of it to outsource or possibly outsource?
The KYC. So
yeah, I know what you mean. I had considered that myself, and at one time I thought that might be a model for something like Dig Life to handle for other communities. But anyway.
Yeah, exactly. There are companies and organizations that have figured it out and have it working, and it's quite common these days when you register for an ICO that it's actually a third party that is doing the KYC. So they didn't build it themselves. They didn't roll their own. They're outsourcing it to a third party who's really good at it and keeps it up to date. And I guess that issue got a bit buried. I don't see it here, but there it is. Scalable ID verification. So this is, there's some discussion going back and forth, and this is my post today saying it needs to be addressed. So
is it something for the meeting with Greg to ask that?
No, not yet. I mean, there's some people like, where is it? Aaron, he posted a bunch of names of companies that are doing it, but before we put it in front of Greg, I think we need to check them out and say, well, we see 2 or 3 that are likely candidates, and these are them, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that was in another issue or something, but somewhere he posted like 4 or 5 names of people who do the KYC for you. I'll have to look it up.
Okay, and so this member website, it's something else than the main website. And my question is it too difficult to change the main website of Rchain?
Which name? This one?
No, the Rchain.coop.
Well, I think that one should stay separate.
Okay, then it's clear.
Yeah, I mean the Rchain.coop plays a completely different role in terms of the promotion of the cooperative, and this is really focused on, well, the expression I like to use is this site is the gateway to getting involved. So if you want to get involved with Rchain, if you're considering it, then you go here.
Yeah, that's clear. So, yeah, wonderful. So you're looking for collaborators on this website.
Yeah. At this point, for content, and as I said, I think I found someone who can fill in the WordPress knowledge gap. And yeah, coincidentally, this is a site that he's working on, which is in Dutch, and it's not online yet. It'll be launched in a few days, but this is a WordPress site with a custom theme that does exactly what the user wants. And it's, yeah, coincidentally, it's still sitting in a tab here, but if we can get him involved, then I think that'll solve our knowledge gap here, because this is really a learning curve, and it's not an easy one, especially when you start looking at all these different plugins and things like that.
Yeah, I understand. And what do you think? Is he willing to participate?
I think so. I mean, if so, then yeah, I will have to get him on board.
Nice one.
Yeah, exactly. And join the cooperative and everything. But that's something I can do, and I'll probably learn from it too. Much like our friend in South Africa who's making the videos.
Yeah, he wants to update the main video of Rchain because he thinks it's pretty outdated for design things.
Yeah.
So if you feel the same, then maybe you can support the budget.
Okay. Yeah, I have to look at it actually. Oh, is that the link that you pasted in the chat?
No, that's the explanation of the how we are collaborating.
Right.
But I mean the
Oh, it's right up top in the issues. I'll find it. Don't worry. So yes, I'll take a look at it, and
this one
maybe right.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else. What's the news?
Yeah, I had mentioned this in the Discord channel, HJ, and Ian is aware of it, but I'm toying with the idea of opening up an API to the community members so that they can have access to a chat, not a chatbot room, but a single room on Discord where we can deploy automated services. I guess what I'm wondering about, and my camera is going to freeze up. This computer heats up a lot, so I'm just probably going to turn it off. But where this is coming from, I have discovered this amazing site called Glitch that allows you to deploy a JavaScript application in just a few clicks. I don't know if any of you are aware of Glitch, but what it's been able to allow me to do in just a few days is to set up, I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go to our Slack channel and notice these Rchain co-op haikus. So here's one that says, one big computer, HJ, graph, Mike Stay, Gregory Lucius. Well, that's a pretty silly haiku with Rchain related stuff in it, and there's more in there. But what this site Glitch does is it allows people to hook into APIs through these templates that they've got set up there. And I noticed they've got several Discord templates that would make it real easy for us to start setting up automated applications within Discord. And it just occurred to me as I was proposing this, that this might be a great value to add to membership. If we could, say with membership, you get access to our automated bot channel where you can deploy your bots. And the thing about this Glitch site is, I can show someone how to do something similar to this. If you just go here to Glitch, within a few clicks, you can have this project set up where it's running a back end, and it'll give you a web page. And this is it's still loading but this is my grammar file that I created for the Rchain haiku Twitter bot. And I could have done this a lot more efficiently, but it was sort of fun to do it. But another thing about this is these generative grammars and context-free grammars are very related to what we're getting involved with here on Rchain. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to drop on you and see if I got any responses.
Yeah, I think it looks great, Gary. Do you know how to set up an issue in GitHub?
Say that again. Hold on a second. I'm trying to stop sharing and I forgot how to do that.
There's a button at the top. Yeah.
But okay, ask your question again.
So, do you know how to create an issue in GitHub?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know how to put a budget on it?
Yes, I could figure that out. I've never done it, but I could figure it out. Are you suggesting that I should do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
Ian, are you
because
listening? Do you have any thoughts on what you've just heard? He may have stepped away, but we were chatting about it in Discord, and I realized that there's a lot of liabilities and things like that. But we do have a test channel where we could do a few things. Anyway, I just wanted to see if I could get the discussion started to see how much effort to put into it.
yeah, it's I don't have time for it to help you with this. It sounds very interesting to me, and well, get some attention for your project, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, for a bot to be included in the Rchain Discord, it would really have to prove some value added, and there'd be a vote from the membership that they would actually want it. And there are very few bots out there, it seems, that actually contribute to the conversation rather than just make noise. And at the moment, noise is the bigger problem that we're having on the Discord, and too many channels is the feedback that I'm getting.
I hear your concern about noise and too many channels. We've on Dig Life, we've decided to restructure completely and kind of go back to ground zeros with just a few necessary channels. So I do understand that, but I do think there is some value in giving the co-op members access to an API. Now, I agree that value may be much more than what members pay for membership of the co-op. In fact, that may be something that even the board has to vote on. I don't know, but it does seem to have a lot of connections to what we're doing.
I don't see the connections. I see it as outside of the scope of the co-op or the platform.
But what about the context-free grammar generator? And learning how to do that, and learning how to do JavaScript, and learning how to interface with an API. I'm not coming at this from a developer's viewpoint. I'm coming at it from a real noob's viewpoint, and allowing people to get active. But again, I do hear your concerns.
Anyway, I would go on with this project and see how far you can come, and then maybe it's also more clear how it will be for how it will add value to Rchain. Ojimado, Chidindo Ojimado, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Just been a little busy this week. It's been lots. I have to do offline, so keeping tabs with many things is pretty difficult. But I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. And Nikitas, could you tell a bit more about the attention of the Russians for Rchain? We don't hear you, Nikita.
So now can you hear me?
Yes, wonderful.
So I would like to start something with a Telegram to go to different channels and speak with different developers about our chain. So I'm not good at developer some sites, so maybe I will need some help, and if it's okay to make a site for Russian community, or no site for Russian community, it's not good because we have already our chat, so our site, yeah. So I can call people from there. Otherwise, there is a Russian Facebook, as you know, called vk.com. So maybe we can make some group there of our chains to start call people.
Yeah.
And this is my first point of view without thinking and without anything, you know.
Okay. Is there already a Russian Telegram for Rchain?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many members are on there?
I didn't had to make it. I'm just giving the idea about what I'm going to do. If you want me and you give me the okay to do this, I can start it after we end our meeting.
Yeah, I also think the vk.ru is a nice site because I think that's where majority of the Russians are. I saw Facebook and some other social networks. I think it's a big site in Russia there. So I think vk.ru is nice.
Yeah, it's like Facebook and only for Russian and back from Soviet Union countries around the world. So it is a good target to start with.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to all your initiatives. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I think we have to stop and go over to the meeting of Greg. And thanks a lot for attending this meeting. And next week, cannot run the meeting because I'm going tomorrow for a small holiday to Israel. So hope somebody else can pick it up. Okay.
Okay, Nikitas, I posted a note.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to better to call people to this Telegram channel or to make another?